All right, in this problem, the first thing I want you to look at is that it's a multiplication problem. Always think about what operation is between the two fractions before you start the problem. What we want to do is factor each of these. Off to the side, I'm going to do my work for factoring this cubic. For x cubed minus 1, I'm thinking what it cubed gives me x to the third, and that's 1. Then what cubed gives me 1 is 1. And that will set up my first parenthesis. From here, I have x times x times x gives me x to the third, and 1 times 1 times 1 gives me 1. And when I separate these, that helps me organize my second parenthesis. So when I multiply them, I can multiply the first two. X times x is x squared. And when I multiply the second one, 1 times x is 1x. And then multiplying 1 times 1 is 1. And then remember your sign is SOAP. Same, and that means if this is negative, this is also negative. Then opposite would be a plus and always positive. So that is how we are going to factor the numerator here. X minus 1 times x squared plus x plus 1. The next thing we're going to factor is the denominator. This is a difference of two squares. Both the 4, the x, and the 9 are perfect squares. And remember, when you do your dots, you're going to have opposite signs because that is what makes the middle term cancel out. I'm going to put my multiplication. And next we have to factor the numerator. When we factor this numerator, you can decide how you like to factor. You can do factor by grouping, where you decide what multiplies to the 2 times 3. You could do guess and check. Some people do a box, some people do the little fish. Any method. I'm going to do my work above my way, but don't feel obligated to do it my way. If you like it my way, fine. If not, no big deal. I'm going to be multiplying my 2x squared times 3 to get 6x squared, and then I have 5x. I'm going to ask what multiplies to this and adds to that, and that's going to be 2 and 3. I'm going to take the 2 and the 3, and I'm going to replace that middle term. So replacing my middle term, I will now have 2x squared, but I'm going to erase this and I'm going to put my two new terms, 2x, 3x, and then I continue writing the plus 3. From here, we're going to group 2 and 2. And I'm looking for my GCF. My GCF is 2x, and that leaves me with x plus 1. My GCF is 3, a positive 3, and I'm going to factor that out with x plus 1. Now remember, the outsides become a parenthesis, so 2x plus 3, and the insides should match, and those become just one parenthesis. Now the last thing we have to factor is here the x squared minus 1, and that's our difference of two terms, x plus 1 and x minus 1. Now keep in mind, this is a multiplication problem, and with multiplication problems, once everything is joined with multiplication, you could go ahead and cancel. And then it looks like what we have left in the numerator is x squared plus x plus 1. And in the denominator, we have 2x minus 3. And that will be our final answer.